Welcome to the Note to Self podcast. I'm your host, Zoe. I'm a certified professional life coach, serial entrepreneur, verified YouTuber, and published author. On this podcast, you can expect actionable tips, reflections, and inspiration to live your best, most fulfilling life. So, let's get started. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Note to Self. I hope you're having a beautiful, abundant day. Today, I'm going to be introducing a new series as part of this podcast, which is going to be called Pattern Alert. And I'm going to be letting you guys in on patterns that personally have and are affecting me in my own life that I start to bring into awareness, with the hopes that you then might be able to identify perhaps that same pattern or a dimension or aspect of your life where it might be existing. Because awareness is always 90% of the transformation. The more that we can bring awareness to patterns, the more we can start to transform anything that's unserving us in that place, and or just allow these patterns to work in our favor in ways and or heal them so that we don't have to relive them or re-experience them. So today's pattern that I'm bringing forward is around rushing. What's the rush? I find myself rushing or feeling rush energy in different parts of my life. And through really bringing this into awareness, I can now catch myself and calm myself down. I feel like this rushing energy is something that's been calling to be healed in the nervous system. And I have healed it over time. And that rush energy feels like sort of the body's moving into fight or flight. And I've noticed that it can start to occur when I'm feeling really passionate about projects or really diving into my work. And it's so unnecessary that that exists there because there really is no rush, especially when I'm in a passionate place, right? Passion and creativity flow in a place, in a dimension that there is no time and space. Thus, there is no rush. There's a divine orchestration that's occurring. And my ego doesn't need to be there. My ego doesn't need to be involved in the rush. And that's like one point that I want to make, is that when you feel in a rush, the ego's there. Okay? Because the soul doesn't have deadlines or specific timelines, right? The soul is always guiding you. Your higher self is always guiding you, and time doesn't really exist, right? So anytime that we're feeling, oh, I'm in a rush, and the nervous system starts to flutter, that's a great opportunity to begin to remind the self, no, you are actually in the perfect place at the perfect time, and it's all unfolding perfectly in your favor. So now I've programmed myself that whenever I feel in a rush and I catch myself, I just might take a deep breath, might decide to pour myself a chamomile tea, remind myself it's all divine. Nothing is in a rush, right? Everything always gets done. I know and trust myself enough that I always make it out more than okay. So this again is just one level of me reminding myself that I'm actually in the perfect place at the perfect time. The rush is a construct of the ego. It's enforcing you're not there yet, you need to be somewhere else. We're running out of time. It's a very lack-based pattern. When the truth is there's more than enough time, and you can't miss anything that's not meant for you. And as long as you're following your passions and you're doing what you feel called to do, you are in more than the perfect place. You're actually in divine alignment. Again, which is perfect, but it's just that next level perfect. So, in catching myself, like I said, in this rushing energy, it's allowed me to start programming in perfect place thoughts, perfect place belief systems. And that's what's great about, triggers and or bringing patterns into awareness, is like as soon as we've got them in our awareness, we can automatically start choosing what I want to feel or what I want to experience instead. So instead of feeling like I'm in a rush, I got to get things done, I've reprogrammed in, you're in the perfect place at the perfect time, and everything is working out in your favor. Everything is working out in your favor. That's one of my favorite thoughts to come to when I feel in a rush. I remind myself it's all perfect divine time, and everything's working for you right now. You're actually doing the divine work that's needed to get to your next level self. So I encourage you guys, as I share that, to look at your own lives. Is rush existing anywhere? And if so, where do you find that shows up the most frequently? And once you've got that, what is it that you want to implement instead? What is actually the belief system that you really want to let sink into your subconscious that would really support you in trusting yourself to the next level and feeling safe and supported in welcoming in that of which you're desiring or working towards? Right? Because when we feel safe in our nervous system, we are so open to receive. So the more healing and the more regulating we can do of our nervous system, the more opportunities and abundance naturally flow to us, because we're not in a state of panic by any means. We're not in a state of fight or flight. And I really want to acknowledge that, like, those of you who might be experiencing that, I know how uncomfortable that feeling is, like when the nervous system just feels lit and it's all like spiced up about fears and such. But the truth is, it's all an illusion, right? And the more that we can bring ourselves back to and reprogram these new belief systems, like it's actually all perfect, and, put your hand on your chest, take a few deep breaths, remind yourself, I'm actually doing great. I'm actually doing so much more than enough. I'm in alignment. Reminding the body of that is so incredibly powerful. And yeah, just takes life to the next level, really. These micro moments that you can create change, that compound effective change is implemented, right? Little tweaks over time or little habits implemented over time create lasting results. So when you start fine tuning your being, you are tapping into optimal energy, optimal lifestyle, optimal being. And then, like I said, you also are tapping into being able to receive to a new level. So I hope that this podcast episode granted some beautiful insights for you guys today. And I'm really excited to share more patterns that show up for me, because I feel like it's such a great opportunity for all of us to learn together. And I really just want to bring forth, like, we all go through the same things in different ways. Like, we're all human beings. You're never alone in your feelings. You're never alone in what you're experiencing. We all go through this. We all go through feeling fight or flight. We all go through reliving different patterns. And let this podcast just be your reminder, like, you're not alone and we're all working through it. And let's all up level together. Let's all align with those highest timelines together by taking note of our patterns and implementing new belief systems and starting to entrain to those greater visions we have for ourselves. And one quick last note I want to let you guys know about is that I'm holding a free 3-day training all about writing your story and tuning in and tapping into the power of writing. So this 3-day training is called From Story to Authorship to Royalties. It's free and it's happening at the beginning of May. It's happening in Eastern time. I say Eastern time because in Bali, I'm like a day ahead. But it's going to be May 5th to May 7th. And it's all about finding the story within yourselves, finding clarity on that story. We've all got not just one story, but multiple. And I really just want to show you, like, you've got so much power. And there's so much power in storytelling in itself, especially if you're an entrepreneur. Storytelling is so key to really aligning people to your brand, to your messaging. So we're going to be talking and we're going to be talking all things storytelling and finding the story within, bringing a lot of clarity forward for you in that, right? You don't just have one story, you've got multiple, and we're really just going to dive in and get that juiciness out and show you that you've got so much to share with this world. Then we're going to be talking about becoming an author, right? Shifting the identity to really seeing yourself as an author. And then the last piece, which is royalties. I'm really just going to be inspiring you about your realm of possibilities in passive income. Ooh, this is just getting me so excited. So be sure to click the link down below, the opt-in link, to get notified when that free 3-day course is going live. It's only going to be up for a couple of days following that, as I'm then going to take it down and put it into one of my paid programs. So this is going to be some very valuable content that you definitely want to be a part of. So I'll see you inside, and have a beautiful, beautiful day. Thank you for listening to Note to Self. If you enjoyed this episode, please help me out by rating and reviewing this show on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. If my energy is resonating with you and you feel the call to work with me, there are an abundance of ways to do so. I offer one-to-one life coaching programs, mastermind containers, and DIY courses, all of which are available through my website, zoearielpolson.com. Until next time, take note of all the abundance that surrounds you as you make the most of this game called life.